kind of set the stage. Any company that you work for, there are different levels of shots that you get, and you don't think about this whenever you're a student. So they are, you know, we grade them. We call them AAA shots, you know, A shots, B shots, and C shots. And everywhere you go, you'll get this. And you know, the AAA shots are the best shots, the hero shots, you know, the close-up shots, the mid shots, and the C shots are the shots that has all the constraints, 20 characters on screen, you know, these are the shots that no one really wants.
Or a 12-frame reaction shot.
Oh, 12-frame reaction shot. So, you know, working in a studio, so what do you do to start getting, let's say when you start with the C shots. When you're a beginning animator in a studio, a junior animator, you always get the C shots. You have to prove yourself. So what do you need to do to start getting these AAA shots?
Okay, I'm going to use an example that's actually talking about Ludo. So
Ludo is
the example.
Okay, guys.
So Ludo's phenomenal. And I remember we were working on Puss in Boots.
Extremely phenomenal.
And
I don't have any money on me, sorry.
well, you can pay me later.
Yeah, I'll give you the check later.
Anyway, there was a really simple reaction shot of Puss. I think Humpty said something important, and it was just Puss looking at him. And it was when they were up in the clouds. I think he put his hand on him or something. And you know, it was a very easy shot that could have easily just been really something simple. And because you're Ludo and there's magic involved, you know, you turn it.
No, but he said there's no magic. So
Magic inside. It's gonna be my T-shirt.
Well, it turned into this really nice, sweet, genuine, just every positive word you could throw at it. And there's no way that you could really specifically say like, okay, well, it's because he raised this eyebrow 3 degrees or something. There was just something about it that really turned that shot into something. Didn't make the shot showboaty, didn't make it anything like that, but it was really something where you could tell that you really put a lot of time and effort into it, and it was a good, believable reaction shot. And I think that that's what you need to do. You need to approach even the least glamorous C shot with 20 characters or something, and make sure that that is the best that you could possibly make it. Make sure that the idea of the shot is clear. Make sure that every single character is polished to a high degree, and really show that you really care about every little part about that shot. And you know, hard work always gets noticed. This is a very competitive industry, and when you see somebody really, really bringing their A game consistently, you want to give them bigger opportunities because you know that they're going to really kick the crap out of you.
Yeah, to follow up with this, it's exactly this. I've seen people basically turn C shots into A shots. Maybe not AAA shots, but I've seen people turn shots that no one else wants into shots that, you know, will be, you know, everyone will want that shot on the demo reels, and that's exactly what you know what you were talking about.
and you learn every shot is important. You know, every shot is in the movie for a reason. Like there's the board artists and writers, they all sit down and they choose which shots need to be in the sequence and why, and you know,
those shots are in there for a
yeah,
reason.
there's I mean, and something done very well, yeah, every shot has a reason or purpose. Either it is to set up another shot, or it's because you need it essentially for connecting the shots, whatever it is. And you need to think about it that way. Like every shot is important, because then you're gonna feel like, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a 12-frame shot or a 300-frame shot. This shot is important for the sequence. You're giving this shot, so you know, it's your job to like get it across, like you're saying, like it needs to
put you in a game.
There's also like, and after you've done all of that, sometimes it just doesn't hurt to let whoever's doing the casting know that you're interested in a certain sequence, and sometimes they want to know that. They're like, you know, who would know
so
that?
Be proactive and
yeah, like say,
that's
you know,
a big
I really like that sequence. If there's a chance I could be cast on it, I have an idea for this, and you know, they can't know what everyone wants, but if you make it known, sometimes it helps.
And also too, I think you can't take it personally, and it's not linear. It's not like you know, you're gonna get A shots every single day. You know, especially on a film where just say it's not character team based. You know, you're gonna get a lot of different types of shots, and you just have to be professional about it. You know, and approach it like, okay, I have to do. And if the purpose of the shot, if you do your job at best, just say the purpose is it's not noticed. It just does that really well. You have to accept that. You're also not trying to steal the show with something that, you know, you're still trying to be the most truthful as you can with that one shot. And if that means someone walking across a scene, like for instance, I did a shot in Kung Fu Panda 1 where Shifu's just walking across the floor with his staff. is that an exciting shot? There's only one character, so that's great.
You did that shot?
That was me. It's still framed by everybody. No, and you know what? That's the thing. It's like, okay, I want to just do a great job and try and imbue it with emotion too. But ironically, you know what JP says, that 12 frame shot and that 300 frame 12 character shot are equally hard to get through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so that's the thing. Those short shots and the long shots with full of characters, but you know, you just have to be professional and just try and do really well at it, and you know.
Yeah, one thing I was told actually about 3 years ago, I think, is they said if it's a 300 frame shot, if it's a 12 frame reaction shot, even if it's someone way the hell in the background, they said once you animate that shot will be on film for the rest of film history.
Yeah.
As soon as they said that, I'm like, oh, I got to get over myself now.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I don't want to do this shot. It's so boring, and look what that guy gets, and all that kind of stuff. As soon as someone pointed that out to me, that also made me happier with every shot. It's like, what can I do with this shot? If all the character does is, how can I make that honest? Not interesting.
Timeless.
Yeah, exactly. And it will be on film forever, whether or not that movie's a classic or gets watched 100,000 times, whatever. But it's still, that film will be, you know, someone will be able to watch that film forever. And so do your job on that shot.
The best as you can.
Although, I mean, I think we have to, oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. I mean, and your job is just to, I mean, it's like you do a painting. It's either they give you a canvas like this or like this, you still have to do a good painting. You still have to get that level of quality. Not necessarily take a small shot that's just a reaction shot and make the character dance and then, like, you know, you don't want to overcomplicate it, the idea, but the execution, like the quality of the shot needs to be up to the standard of the whole movie. And it's not because the shot itself is actually a small shot in the movie. I mean, as an animator level, it's the shot. So even if it's 16 frames, it's 16 frames that needs to be animated well. Not, you know, it's not because that one is 16 frames, the other one is 300, that this one, it makes it often a harder shot where you get like 50 frames with like 50 guards and like all the spears and the helmets and stuff to parent, where the other guy, you know, besides you get like 300 frame shot with a character talking like this. Your job is way harder, but the quality of that shot needs to be equal to the other one, even if it's harder to deliver.
I've seen animators, you know, that are
and
just...
animators knows that.
Yeah,
like, you know, maybe people from the outside will say, oh, it's a small shot, but you're in the animation industry.
True, I mean, I've seen animators that take a 13 frame shot, you know, that take them a month to do, and animators that have, you know, like a 5 foot shot that takes, you know, a day to do. You know, 13 frame shots that takes a month to do.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Just kidding.
Yeah, that's me. That was one of my first shots here.
At the same time, though, we have to tell
It wasn't his fault, though. I have to say, it wasn't his fault.
No, but I'm like, yeah.
You were
That
like,
sounds familiar.
That sounds really familiar.
Oh, wait, that's me.
I mean, just to talk about what you just said, I mean, one of the first shots I did at Dreamworks was on Madagascar 2, a crate shot, like a crate falling down the hill. It was like 50 frames, a crate falling, so a bouncing ball with a rotation on the crate. Took me 3 weeks to get it final.
Nice.
I got like crates bouncing right, bouncing left, like, you know, a little bit less on the water, a little bit more like this. And Puss in Boots, few years after, I got like an action shot of Puss, like, I don't know, 150 frames, 200 frames. Got it final in 2 days. Just because you know the character, you're right in the moment, the director likes it, and then it gets final right away.
And you're magical.
So you're
and you're magical. Like,
I mean, you get
like
the
how we always
context
say
too. You were talking about these A shots. It's like, in a feature production, they're probably going to treat the C shots the same way they're going to treat the A shot. But the A shot is actually way easier because most of the time, because you have to take the right decision for the acting, but the execution, you get like the dialogue is usually pretty good, and you get the character full frame, and you don't necessarily have the whole body, the character is not necessarily walking. You get a crate shot, the only thing it's going to say is just, you know, the crate, spinning around and falling in the water, and you can get like, you know, 25 rounders note on that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, sorry to be,
No,
but I think just to go with this, it doesn't always, it's not always your fault. Actually, it's rarely the fault of the animator, because you usually make it look good, and it's always the choice, you know, the director's choice. If the director doesn't want it this way, you know, he'll make you change it. Yeah. So you have to adapt to that.
At the same time, I think people out there should know that we're not all sitting here going, awesome, another crowd shot, you know? Let's be realistic. Like, if you're out there going, oh man, what if I actually wanted a better shot? Of course, it's human nature, and let's say that too. Let's be very honest. I mean, I think we're all very competitive, but I think that's actually really good to feel that way. But as long as it doesn't push you to being embittered and kind of disgruntled and kind of feeling self-entitled, then I think, you know, you need to examine why you're in the industry, because you won't last very long. But I think if you take that and it drives you to make the shots, whatever shot you get the best you can, then more power to you feeling that way. You know,
you'll get those A shots.
Yeah.
You know,
Just find the fun in the shot you have too. There's like, it could be a shot that's a quick whatever's happening, but it's an action shot, and like I get to make a character do this swinging motion, and that's, you know, let's see if I can make that look harder. Let me see if I can amp it up. Like, try to learn something from that. Don't just take it for granted. I mean,
Actually,
you can do something with each shot, regardless of what it is. Even if it seems insignificant to the film, it can be significant to you and even your demo reel, because I don't have any action shots yet. And this is an action shot that, you know, I could put on my reel. Like, you can think of it that way, just as your own personal trophy, you know.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, it doesn't matter how small it is, you can learn so much from that.
Yeah.
And like, at least for me, whenever I have to do a shot that's like 12 frames, 20 frames, whatever, it's the amount of time that you have to get the point across. It is almost none. Like, it's half a blink and it's gone. But did you make it worth its while? And usually at the beginning it's like, no, I didn't. Like, I don't gotta redo it. But honestly, you have like the AAA shots. You have 300 frames. You have 300 frames to get the point across. It's way easier. When you have a C shot that's 12 frames, can you make that point across? So usually, it's so hard to do it, you know. But if you're good at that, you're gonna be. You're gonna be such a smart animator when you get the other B shots and then A shots, because you don't need that much time to get that point across. So you'll be able to do it, you know, much easier.
In the extreme case too of speaking of that, one animator, Dave Hubert, he told me a funny story about how he got in to DreamWorks animation, and he just applied out of the blue from the website and just sent a reel in. He did, you know, and he just sent it in, and he happened to animate, I think, a lizard on his reel. And he had a lot of fun doing it, he said. And Dave Burgess happened to see it. And for Dr. Cockroach, he saw the reel and said, oh, that movement might kind of translate nicely to Dr. Cockroach. That was it. Why? Because he cared about doing it and he had fun and it looked great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you just don't know, like, ultimately where it gets you. And he said he got a call a year later out of the blue. You want to come to DreamWorks? He's like, okay. And that was literally the most different non-stress story I'd ever heard. Which goes to show, I think, you know, all of you, I don't know, animation tends to find the animator. I don't think it's the other way around. If you talk to a lot of animators and how they came into it, it just kind of search for them and it sought them out.
This is like the force.
Animation finds the animator.
You're giving him a headache.
It chooses.
That's amazing.
You don't choose the animation. It
chooses. That's true. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Wow. So I ran out of questions. Anything else you guys want to just throw out there, and things that you'd like to start? How much time do we have left?
Once you get in, how do you stay in?
So that's a good question. Once you get in, how do you stay in? Because
on behalf of CGTarian.com, thank you for watching. That concludes this session. We hope to see you for the next one.